All right, so it's finally time. We can finally talk about Jon Jones versus Anthony Smith at UFC 235 on March 2nd. I gotta say I've been pretty excited for this fight. I've been excited to see Jon Jones come back, hopefully on the other end of all this controversy and the picograms and the steroids and the failed drug test, and hopefully we can watch this man fight and not worry about anything else going on. I mean, we understand that he had the picogram thing, he failed a couple drug tests, and apparently it would have been double jeopardy to actually punish the guy again after coming back, serving that sentence, rather, basically sitting out for 2 years for that failed drug test. I mean, the man truly got punished to the furthest extent of the law. He paid so much money. So I just hope we can come out, watch him fight Anthony Smith, and not let anything else blur our vision of truly watching potentially one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, if not the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. I mean, the man has put in so much work. He just beat Alexander Gustafsson for the second time. The first fight was probably the closest that Jon Jones has ever come to losing a fight, and he come out on top on that fight and actually come back the second time and basically dominated the man. I mean, Alexander Gustafsson has incredible boxing. He's got great hands, but Jon Jones is just, he's another monster. He's another being. To truly have to fight Jon Jones must be terrifying for these guys. It must absolutely terrify these guys to know they're going in against Jon Jones, and the cage is going to be locked. You're done. You're stuck in there with him until either one, you get knocked out, two, you survive through the beating and the brawl, or three, you give up, jump over the cage and run to the back. I mean, the man truly is a beast in the UFC, and it's been a pleasure to watch him fight, and to watch him kind of grow through all this drama and this controversy with the steroids. I mean, whether he did it or not, the man has proven his worth in the UFC, and he's coming up against a game competitor. I mean, Anthony Smith has been on an absolute tear the past couple years. The only person he lost to was Thiago Santos, and honestly, he had that fight won. I think he gassed out a little bit and got knocked out in the second round. But that's nothing to say anything bad about the rest of his record and how he's done in the rest of his fights. I mean, you look at the men's fights and he's absolutely demolished people. I mean, you look, he's beat Volkan Ozdemir, Shogun Hua, and Rashad Evans ever since that loss to Thiago Santos. So it's obviously not something that stopped him or is going to hold him back. And he's coming up against Jon Jones, who, again, is arguably one of the best fighters of all time. And if not in the UFC, in the entire world. I mean, the man has absolutely done things that no one else has been able to do or will be able to do in their entire lifetime. I mean, it's just incredible to look at the things this man has done, and in such a short time. He was the youngest light heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, he's just done so much for the sport and brought so many eyes to the sport that it's truly hard to be against the guy or to root against him. I mean, I love watching Anthony Smith fight. He's very exciting. He always puts on a show for the fans, and so does Jon Jones, but it's just like Jon Jones is on this other level for me. He's truly going to be a Hall of Famer. As long as everyone can put aside this steroid stuff, and as long as he doesn't give people a reason to bring it back up, I think the man is truly going to submit his legacy in the UFC as the best ever, or one of the best ever. I mean, we're not done. We've got people like Israel Adesanya, Zabit Magomed-Shapirov. I mean, we've got several fighters coming up who have potential to be great like he did. But he was just one of the first that did it. He was the youngest to do it. So it's just a different story. It's a different kind of attachment for UFC fans to watch Jon Jones fight and to kind of go through the ups and downs with him. Although we're not dealing with anything close to what he is, we kind of go through the ups and downs with him because we're such big fans of the guy. And then something happens and it kind of lets us down. And I'm sure he disappoints himself even more. But something happens. He picks this back up. He beats Daniel Cormier. He comes back and beats Alexander Gustafsson again. So he does these things to kind of level it back out. I'm just excited to see the Jon Jones that's very stable. It seems like he's got all the partying out, so he's done with that. I'm excited to see the Jon Jones that everyone comes to watch and everyone wants to see fight, and that all-around fighter that people have come to know and love when watching Jon Jones. So UFC 235 is truly going to be a great event. I mean, it's a stacked card. You got Ben Askren, you got Tyron Woodley, you've got Jon Jones, Anthony Smith. So definitely buy the card. I'm going to be buying it. I'm going to be watching it. I hope all of you all will too. And let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, as far as a prediction for this fight, Anthony Smith versus Jon Jones, of course, I'm going to have to go with Jon Jones. I've followed him forever. Since I started watching the UFC, the man has been great. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think if he comes in healthy, he comes in sharp, there's no way in the world that anybody could beat Jon Jones. Has nothing to do with Anthony Smith or me not being a fan of the guy, because I very much am a fan of Anthony Smith. I just think Jon Jones is on another level. I put him on another level of other people. So I expect him to come out and perform like that. As long as there's none of this side BS with the picograms, I'll take Jon Jones in the second by TKO. He's going to stop him by strikes. He'll get him on the ground, pound him out. I think that's how this fight's going to go. I don't think we've truly seen Anthony Smith tested on the ground yet. He's been there a couple times. Thiago took him down once, I believe. So he's definitely got some experience on the ground. It's just Jon Jones is an animal when it comes to stand up or on the ground. So I think Jones takes it in the second by TKO. I think Anthony Smith puts up a great fight. I think he's got a great career ahead of him. I just think Jon Jones edges this one out at UFC 235 this Saturday. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I look forward to this fight, this event like crazy. I'm sure you all are too. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who's going to take the W? Will Jon Jones win? Will Anthony Smith take the W? Let me know what you think. Again, make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below. We'll see you next time.